Hello and good morning everyone. This is Dr. Edward Padama and this time we are going to discuss a sample PowerPoint presentation na ginagamit sa isang research defense, specifically sa research proposal. So ibig sabihin nito mula chapter 1 hanggang chapter 3. So ito ay isa sa mga Tagalog series na ginagawa natin dito sa YouTube channel natin at Doc at Padama. Kaya kung kayo ay hindi pa nakasubscribe sa ating YouTube channel, just go to your YouTube browser and i-type nyo yung Doc Ed Padama, D-O-C, and then after that, marami kayong makikita mga videos na pwede nyo gamitin sa pagsusulat ng research paper ninyo mula sa pagbuo hanggang sa research defense. Mula sa pagbuo ng research title, ng research topic, hanggang sa title defense, hanggang sa research proposal defense, hanggang sa final defense. Meron tayong mga videos na available dito sa ating YouTube channel. So, check it out. And then kung hindi nyo pa na-click yung notification bell, click that one so that every time regular po kasi akong nag-upload ng video para pag meron tayong updated video and upload, manonotify kagad kayo at makikita nyo kung ano yung bago. Now, ito ay halimbawa ng isang PowerPoint presentation na ipapakita ko sa inyo, pero again, for the benefit of the privacy and ethical standard considerations natin sa research writing, ibig sabihin yung mga bagay na dapat itago, at yung mga dapat na ipagpaalam at ipagpasalamat dapat gawin. So ito yung mga citations, recognitions. So ito ay pinagpaalam natin sa may-ari, pero kahit na pumayag yung may-ari, kailangan i-blank out pa rin natin yung mga bagay na pwedeng makaapekto doon sa ginagawan niya ng research. So, ang halimbawa dito, makikita nyo sa unang PowerPoint presentation, kailangan ilagay nyo dyan yung title ng research ninyo. Pinaka-importante yon. Kailangan makita kagad yung title ng research ninyo. So, in this case, blinangko ko yung pangalan ng lokal ng respondents ng kanyang research. So, hindi nyo malalaman kung yan ba ay eskwelahan, yan ba ay kumpanya, yan ba ay grupo, o kung ano-ano pa. Okay, kaya lang kung i-analyze ninyo, malalaman nyo na kagad. Pero hindi nyo makikita kung ano yung specific na yon. Okay, sunod, ang ginamit niya dito sa kanyang unang PowerPoint presentation ay yung sinasabi naming cover page format. So, nandyan yung title, nandyan yung dalawang parts pa ng cover page ninyo, yung intent, kanino ito ipipresent at para saan ito, yun yung intent part na tinatawag natin, at yung last part ay yung author o writer ng research. So ganun lang kasimple ang first part, title, and make sure na naka-indicate yung pangalan ninyo para ma-identify kayo ng panel ninyo kung sino ba ito nagpe-present at kung ano yung pre-present niya. Ganun lang yung unang PowerPoint presentation slide ninyo. Yung susunod naman ay maiksi lang. Kaya nga ang ginagamit palaging salita ng mga panelists, a brief discussion of the background of your research. So, i-discuss nyo lang dyan, sabihin nyo saan nagsimula yung problema ninyo, ano yung problema ninyo, ano yung definition ng problema ninyo, effect ng problema ninyo. So, pinaka-background lang, paano nagsimula? Ano ang nangyari pagkatapos magsimula na yun? And then another, dito sa introduction at background of the study, palagi kong sinasabi sa kanila, buuin nila ito ng deductive method. So yung discussion nyo dapat, mula sa general, kaya makikita nyo dito, nag-start siya sa Wuhan, China outbreak ng COVID-19, and then eventually dapat pagdating doon sa last part ng kanyang discussion kung paano niya present ito sa panel, dapat maging specific na yung last paragraph niya. So makikita natin mamaya. Actually, dito pa lang sa second paragraph, makikita nyo, the Philippines is currently under the process of adjusting. So mula sa China, makita nyo yung specificity nagiging mas narrow yung kanyang discussion. But dapat related yung dalawang topic na pinag-uusapan niya. Actually, yung continuity ng discussion dapat related pero brief. Ibig sabihin, maiksi lang, direct to the point na kagad. So the next slide is a continuation of that discussion. So makikita nyo, hanggang 4 na paragraph lang yan. So yung third paragraph niya, meron na kagad tungkol sa Department of Education. Tapos yung sumunod, yun na yung tinatawag nating rationale of the study. And then, nandito na din yung specific objective ng research ninyo. Ang rationale of the study is the reason why you conducted and chose this study, this topic, this issue. So, sabi niya doon sa last paragraph, in this slide, the researcher conducted this study to identify the challenges, which is the objective and goal ng research niya. Challenges faced by teachers, parents, implementation ng modular distance learning on the pupils. Okay. So, yun yan, sinabi niya. Okay? So, present niya dyan yung objective and goal ng kanyang study. Pero dapat idagdag nyo din yan. Bakit ito ang napili ninyo? Is this somewhat or somehow related to you as an individual? And if yes, papaano siya related? And then, yun nga, i-justify ninyo bakit ito yung napili nyo. So, yun siguro ang pwede nyo pang idagdag dyan sa last part ng inyong slide. Kasi kung mapapansin ninyo, 2 slide kagad yan sa introduction. So, direct to the point na kagad pag ganun. Okay? So, the next part is the theoretical conceptual framework. Again, yung sinasabi ko palagi, you have the following options. Pwedeng gumamit kayo ng theory na walang concept, or concept na walang theory, or both. Theory and concept. Because some theories already contains, may laman na kagad yun, na concept or conceptual framework. So, in this case, ang conceptual framework shows the relationship of the variables and papaano sila konektado at papaano yung proseso ng mga elements nitong conceptual framework ninyo. Theory is a general idea. Theory is a general idea. So, kung gagamit kayo ng theoretical framework, make sure, of course, whether it's theory or concept, na dapat related yung theory or concept doon sa objective goal ng research na ginagawa ninyo. So, in this case, ito ang ginawa niyang conceptual framework. And then, again, if you are using a table, ang label niya ay nasa taas. Ang heading, nasa taas. Okay? So, table 1, tapos title ng table, tapos yung table na ipipresent. Pag figure, nasa baba ang labeling niya. So, makikita nyo dito, figure 1, conceptual framework, pero sa taas, dinescribe niya kung ano yung title nitong conceptual framework na ito. Okay? Pwede nyo din ilagay sa baba, figure 1, conceptual framework, tapos anong title ng conceptual framework na ito. That's also an option. Okay? So, this is the conceptual framework used by the research writer. And then after this, even though you already have the conceptual framework, which can already be considered as the research paradigm, pwede pa kayong gumamit ng research paradigm. The research paradigm shows the flow of the workflow of your research. Ibig sabihin yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng gagawin ninyo sa research ninyo. Ito ang pinapakita ng research paradigm. At ang pinakasimple, accepted pa rin naman. This will depend on the HEI or higher education institution or school or university kung nasaan kayo. Kasi I know there are universities that does not use IPO anymore, or some universities consider this as a very basic and common research paradigm. But again, this will depend on the HEI and if they accept the IPO or not. Okay? And usually you can formulate your own research paradigm based on the conceptual framework or use the conceptual framework as your research paradigm. Okay. So, yung research paradigm na ginamit niya dito is IPO. Ang kulang niya lang is the arrow. So, lalagyan niyo lang ng arrow para makita yung flow. Sabi natin kanina, ipinapakita nito yung workflow ng inyong research. Ibig sabihin, ano yung unang gagawin, yung susunod, at yung huling gagawin. So, lagyan nyo ng arrow from input papunta sa process and another arrow from process papunta sa output if you are going to use this as a research paradigm. So, ano yung laman nung nasa input, ano yung laman na nasa process, ano yung laman na nasa output. So, we have another video discussing that. Okay? And then the next PowerPoint presentation would be the statement of the problem. Actually, the most critical part na talagang nakafocus ang defense would be your SOP and your research title. So, that's why briefly give a background. Okay, not unless there are instances wherein the panel would like to know specifically or mas dagdagan nyo pa yung detail tungkol saan ba tong theory na ito, ano pa yung mga literatures na ginamit nyo. But kung wala naman silang question related to other parts of your research, you just maintain these parts ng PowerPoint presentation ninyo. So, again, I blanked out some of the parts also to protect the owner of the research. So, ayan. Oh, may idea na kayo pero again, we continue and meron siyang 5 SOP or specific problems presented in this PowerPoint presentation. Again, how do you present this? Even though our discussion today is supposed to be focused on the content, marami kasing nagtatanong, sir, paano i-present yung statement of the problem? You just present literally by just reading the SOP. And then eventually, if there is a question from the panel regarding the relevance of the specific problem sa title ninyo, that's the only time you're going to answer. So, ibig sabihin, basahin nyo lang. Pag may tanong, saka nyo sagutin. And usually, yung mga tanong, may kinalaman sa anong connection niyang specific problem na yan dito sa title na ginagawa mo sa research mo. So, prevention is better than cure. Make sure all of your SOP are number 1, relevant to the title that you are doing. And number 2, make sure you cover all of the variables that is reflected in your title. So, the goal, the variables should be reflected and covered sa SOP ninyo. Anong ibig sabihin no? Dapat yung mga SOP na yan, which are questions, mga tanong, should be able to answer. Dapat masasagot niya yung main goal ng inyong research. So again, we have another video discussing that related to SOP in our YouTube channel. Okay, next. After that, eventually, this is already a minor part of your presentation. Present the method, the design used in your research, sino yung respondents, ano yung sampling technique, and papaano nyo kinuha yung mga samples, explain niyo briefly. And that's it. Actually, that's the end of the PowerPoint presentation para sa research proposal defense. Ganun lang kaiksi dapat. This is only 8 slides. But you can do it in less than 8. So, a minimum of 5 to 8 slides, you can already present that. But avoid using text na masyadong maliit because ang ginawa nyo na lang, kinopy-paste ninyo from your document and you do not copy-paste it from your document. Get the gist, the idea, the main idea of that particular part and then yun ang ilagay nyo sa PowerPoint presentation. Ang dami kong nakikita, talagang kinopyan lang, kinopy-paste lang yung isang buong chapter o even just one whole page and then pagdating sa PowerPoint presentation, ang liliit na ng text. No, you do not do that. Get the main idea, get the important facts, important factors, rephrase niyo, and then that's what you put in your PowerPoint presentation. Actually, again, this is the last PowerPoint presentation. Ayan, meron pa siya yung sinasabi natin, sino yung respondents, yung size, at ano yung instrument na gagamitin. So, basically, after this, that's already the end of the PowerPoint presentation. So, 8 slides lang ang ginamit niya. So, again, I hope you were able to learn something from this short discussion kung ano dapat yung laman ng PowerPoint presentation, papaano nyo dapat i-present, and we have a lot of tips na pwede nyong gamitin pag kayo ay magde-defend na. Halimbawa, yung issue na kinakabahan kayo, okay lang bang kinakabahan kayo, I always tell my students it's okay to feel nervous because that's a positive thing. You prepare kapag nininervyos kayo. And I also advise them na you cannot give what you do not have. You will not, kahit gaano ka kagaling na speaker, kahit gaano ka kagaling mag-English, if you did not review or did not prepare or you do not have an idea of the content of your research, you will not be able to answer the question. Napakasimple lang, hindi ba? So, palagi sinasabi ko sa kanila, read, read, read. Basahin ninyo kung ano yung laman ng research ninyo para alam ninyo kung ano yung isasagot ninyo. Marami pa tayong advice and tips pag magre-research defense. So, check that out sa YouTube channel natin at Doc Ed Panama. So, meron mag-a-appear dito sa gilid na mga na mga videos na pwede nyong gamitin sa research writing ninyo tsaka sa defense ninyo. And again, marami pong salamat sa pakikinig sa inyo. See you on the next video. Bye!